One of the most important things that we have as men that we need to really nurture and look after and pay attention to is our mental health. And I know that it's talked about a lot, and this isn't one of those videos that's going to leave you empty-handed at the end. It's not one of those videos that is just going to talk about it and say, oh, it's okay. I want to really help you guys feel that you have power over the feelings that you feel, and that you have the power to prevent those days. You have the power to manage those days whenever they do arise, because no matter how much you try and prevent things, it's going to happen at some stage. So these are going to be the 5 things that I use, and I personally have very, very good mental health right now, and I really do attribute it to these 5 things that I'm about to discuss. So the first thing is meditation, and if you've never done meditation before, you're going to think, well, that's a bit airy-fairy, that's like, I've tried it before, it didn't work for me, and yeah, it's just, why would I do that? It's a waste of time. What I would say to that is, you definitely didn't try it long enough. You didn't give it the attention it deserves. You probably spent the whole time thinking about, oh, like, what notifications am I missing on my phone? This is stupid. This is a waste of time. I'm not enjoying this. Like, you probably went into it with the wrong mindset. And what's really important here is that you go into it with a positive mindset, with no sense of skepticism. You don't go into it with any skepticism. You go in with full belief that this is going to really help. This is going to be a part of my day that's going to help prevent me from a darker day. It's going to set me up, and it's going to improve my life. It's going to be a positive influence on my life. And if you go into it with that mindset, you're much more likely to reap the rewards. The second thing is practicing gratitude and writing down lists of things that you're really, really grateful for. And just to prove that I am not a bullshitter, this is the past couple of months that I have done my own gratitude. I write down 2 to 3 things that I am grateful for, and this will be right after my meditation. And I'll use the time within my meditation. I use guided meditation. It normally takes about 10 or 15 minutes, and I don't tend to really listen to what they say. I tend to focus on my breathing and focus on what I'm grateful for that morning. So what that does, writing down those 3 things that you're grateful for, as small as they might be, some mornings I write down, I'm grateful that I have water to drink. I'm grateful that I have fresh air to breathe. I'm grateful that I have food to put into my body. Just really feeling like a mindful, grateful feeling about those things is going to make you appreciate life a lot more. And doing this in the morning really sets you up a lot better for the day. It puts you into that state of positivity, so it's much more likely that you're going to have a good day after this, because you're already grateful for the small things. So if something goes wrong, it's not as big of a deal. It doesn't take up as much of your headspace. This has been a huge part of me being able to prevent those bad days and even manage the bad days that do tend to happen now and again. Third thing is therapy. So personally, I'm going to be completely transparent. I don't go to therapy anymore, but I did for about a stretch of 2.5 years, and I will in the future as well. Right now, I feel like I have a handle on things quite well in terms of my mental health. So with therapy, I seen it as an opportunity to take some weight off my shoulders at the end of the week or at the end of the month. So it's not all about going and sorting all your trauma out and talking about all that. Yes, that will be addressed in the first 6 months of sessions. You will talk about your childhood. You will learn the reasons why you are a certain way, and it has been nothing but helpful for me, and I would recommend it to absolutely anyone. But what I ended up using it for was almost like a journal. And you hear about people journaling and writing down things at the start of the day. You can see that I did do it for a while. So I had like the let's talk section. I did do that for a while. I didn't really see any return on journaling for me personally. I was going into it with the right mindset. I was going into it wanting to do it, and I enjoyed it the first couple of weeks trying it. But I soon started to see no return on investment, and I almost had to think too hard to write something down. And yeah, I decided that therapy was a lot more beneficial because I could go at the end of the week or at the end of the month and unload there and use that as kind of, because there's no judgment in therapy unless you are planning on inflicting danger on yourself or others. There is no judgment and it's completely confidential. It's like a soundboard. It's someone there to question your troubles and question your thoughts and question your decisions, and that can be really, really beneficial. Yeah, really, really recommend therapy. The next thing is exercise, and everyone is probably sick of hearing that exercise is not only good for your physical health, but it's good for your mental health. In all honesty, I'm sick of hearing that as well. But exercise is probably top of the list. I've heard the saying before, if you could incorporate a healthy diet and a healthy exercise and healthy lifestyle into one pill, it would be the most prescribed pill on earth. And I really, really agree with that. I think it can solve a lot of our problems, but we're talking about our mental health here. Exercise gives you an opportunity to control something within your life. So it's you going into the gym and making the decision to improve, and you're making a decision to improve your body, improve your strength, your performance. Obviously you need to know roughly what you need to do within the gym, but it gives you such a great feeling and it releases chemicals in the brain. We don't need to go into that, but it releases chemicals in the brain that lets you know, right, we've done something good there. That felt really, really good. And it also releases dopamine over extended periods of time. So it's like a delayed release of dopamine. I can't remember the exact phrase right now, but it's delayed. What is the word I'm trying to look for? I can't remember, but you know exactly what I mean. So whenever you change your body over 6 months or a year or 2 years, sometimes it takes that long, you get this satisfaction, and that transfers over into every other area of your life. Because you're improving in one area of your life, that being improving your physical and mental health, it spills out into everything else. And like, I truly believe that. Although if you have watched recent videos of mine, I am personally going through like a rut with my career. I truly believe that all the good things that have come into my life would not have come into my life without exercising and looking after my body. The fifth thing is going to be a bit controversial, and I may be even wrong, and I'm willing to accept that I'm wrong, but I'll tell you what the thing is. So it's belief that depression, anxiety, and like all that kind of bad mental health, it's the belief that that doesn't exist for you. And you may be like, what? Like, it clearly exists. Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But put it like this: if you and a friend were to go and sleep in a haunted house, your friend really believes in ghosts, scared beyond belief, but you're a complete skeptic. You don't believe in ghosts. You don't think there's like a purgatory that you have to stay on the earth for a certain amount of time after you die. Like, all that rubbish. You can tell that I'm a complete skeptic. But you don't believe in ghosts and your friend does. It's time to go to sleep. who is going to have a good night's sleep and who is not going to have a good night's sleep. So the person that, your friend that is a believer in ghosts, she is going to have a shitty night's sleep, really, really bad. She's going to wake up in the morning, she's going to be groggy, in a bad mood, all that stuff. Where, like you, on the other hand, you had a great night's sleep, amazing, because you didn't have the belief that there were ghosts that were going to hurt you there. Unless there were actually ghosts, and in which case you're probably dead. So no reason to worry about that. But this is the metaphor that I use for not believing in depression and all that sort of bad mental health stuff that you can think of, depression, anxiety, all that kind of stuff. If you have the belief that it doesn't exist for you, how can it hurt you? How can it happen? How can you have chronic depression when it doesn't exist? And I know even after that metaphor, it may still sound like, what the hell is he going on about? But I think that's a better message for young men, especially. That's a better message to convey to young men than the current message that the government or like the people in charge are putting out, that yes, you have depression, and yes, you can take this pill, yes, you can do all these things, you can meditate, you can do your gratitude, but it's never going to cure you. You have to learn to manage your depression. And yeah, I think that is a horrible message to send out. I would rather spread a message which gives you the power. So whether you believe in it or not, I would rather spread a message that doing all of these things can really, really go a long way and gives you the power to avoid chronic depression, that you can cure yourself. There is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. You don't have to live with it. You don't have to manage it. You can completely cure yourself. You don't need to take antidepressants. You don't need to be in the doctors every week, upping your dosage. And you don't need to believe that there's no way out and that the best that you can do is manage it, because that's just simply not true. And I truly believe that. I truly believe that if we were created, and whoever created us, whatever your beliefs, why would we be created to completely and utterly hate ourselves, hate our lives, hate everything that we are and what we have, and to not enjoy any aspect of life for our entire lives? Like, why would we be created to feel that? That just doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't make sense. I refuse to believe it. So I personally have the belief that chronic depression doesn't exist. Yes, I have my bad days. Yes, I'll wake up some days and I'll not want to leave bed, but I get up and I usually tend to do it anyway, like do what I need to do. And some days I don't. But that's one day. You get through it. You move forward. You do what needs to be done anyway, whether it's today or tomorrow. And there's no way that you will ever get chronic depression because you don't believe in it. So other than that last point, I think all of those were pretty helpful to everybody. And I think if you go away and implement those, if you introduce meditation into your morning routine, if you introduce gratitude into your morning routine, introduce therapy into your life, whether it's once a week, multiple times a week, or once a month, if you incorporate exercise into your life, whether that's lifting weights, whether that's CrossFit, whether that's cardio, running, like some sort of sport, doesn't matter what it is, that's going to really help you. So if you take those 4 things, the last one you can decide for yourself, because that won't sit well with everyone. That's my own personal belief. It's an idea that I've heard recently and it sort of clicked with me. I was like, yeah, like that makes a lot of sense. So you can take all of that with a pinch of salt, introduce at least one of those into your daily or weekly or monthly routine, and I guarantee you are going to see the benefits.